Good morning, children. This lesson is for children in the Pharaoh group. And today we will be counting up and down in a given fraction whose denominators are multiples of the same number. So we're going to be looking at an example here. Now we've got 5 mixed numbers. A mixed number is when you have a whole number plus a fraction. So our whole number here is 4 and our fraction is a half. Now if we look at these 5 different mixed numbers, the denominators on some of them are different. We've got 2, 5, 10, 5 and 10. Now to solve this question, it says sequence these numbers from smallest to largest. The easiest way to solve this question is by converting these denominators to be all the same. Now to do that, we're going to choose the largest denominator we've got, and we want them to all be the same. So our largest denominator we've got is 10. So we don't need to change these two fractions. So we're going to write these down here. So we don't need to worry about them. We're going to take this fraction here first, and we've got 4 and a half, okay? So 4 and a half. We need to convert this denominator to a 10. So we need to find a number that we need to multiply 2 by to get to 10. So I'm going to draw up here. I'm just going to take the half. We do not need to worry about the whole number. We can leave that as it is. We're just looking at converting the fraction part of our mixed number. So we need to change this. We change this to our denominator of 2 to 10. But we need to find out what number we need to multiply the 2 by to get to 10. So 2 times 5 equals 10. Now whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. So we must multiply 1 by 5. So 1 times 5 equals 5. So 5/10 is the same as a half. So we can now write down here our new fraction of 4 and 5/10. So we've now got 3 fractions that are all having the same denominator. And we must do the same to these two here. So we'll go down here this time, and we're going to take 4 and 4/5. Remember, we only need to worry about the fraction. We want to convert the 5 as our denominator to a 10. So to do that, we must multiply it by the number 2. 5 times 2 equals 10. And whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. So we multiply 4 by 2. And that gives us the answer of 8. So this fraction here, this mixed number, it can also be written as 4 and 8/10. It is the same value. And we can do the same here. Now we've got the same denominator as we used here. So we know we need to multiply that by 2. So we can put 4 and we can put 10 as our denominator. And then because we said that we need to multiply 5 by 2 to get to 10, we must multiply 2 by 2. And that answer is 4. Now, as we have converted these numbers, these mixed numbers with the same denominator, we now need to put them into order. But it's very crucial that when we do this, we have to put the original mixed number into our columns. We cannot use, this is to help us, but to get the answer correct, we must use these mixed numbers in our answers. Now to help us with that, we're going to number these from smallest to largest. Now the mixed number, the whole number in our mixed number is the same, 4 all the way through, and our denominator is the same. The only part of the whole mixed number we need to look at is the numerator. So we've got 5, 8, 9, 4 and 3. 3 is our smallest, so I'm just going to put 1 there. And this is also going to be number 1 here. I'll explain why we're doing that in a second. We're just going to sequence these in order. Our next smallest number is 4. So that's number 2. and that's number 2. Our next smallest number is 5, so we put 3 there and 3 there. Our next is 8, 4 there and a 4 there, and last but not least, a 5 there and a 5 there. Now, as I said, we need to all these numbers from smallest to largest. We need to be taking, now where we've written these numbers, we want to look at which one was number 1. So we need to put this fraction here in, 4 and 3/10. Our second one was here, but we need to write this fraction here. So we need to write 4 and 2/5. Number 3 was 4 and a half. Number 4 was 4 and 4/5. And last but not least, 4 and 9/10 is our largest whole number, mixed number, sorry. So that's how we can sequence numbers. It's quite a long-winded process, but you must do this to ensure that you get the right answer. Now we're going to have a look at this question here. Now this question here is asking us to find the missing numbers in our sequence. So as you can notice, in our mixed number, the whole number is the same, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, but then we get to 4. So this shows this is counting up. We want to find out what the missing fraction is, missing whole numbers, mixed number, sorry, in these two boxes. Now again, we've got 3 and 1/8, 3 and 1/4. So we've got 2 different numerators. We've got in a denominator, sorry, and in this fraction we've got a denominator of 2. Again, it's the same principle where we want to make sure the denominators are all the same, and we need to choose the highest one. So we've got 8s here. Now if we notice, we've got 3 and 1/8, so we're going to convert this one first. So to turn this 4 to 8ths, we need to multiply it by 2. So we can write down here to help us, this is 3 and 2/8. Now as you can see, we're counting up, we need to add it on to an 8th, because 1/8 plus another 8th is 2/8. So we know our whole number is going to be 3, and our denominator is, we want it to be 8. So we've got 3 and 1/8, 3 and 2/8. If we're counting up in 8ths, this is going to be 3 and 3/8. Now here we've got 3 and a half. We're going to convert this so we have the same denominator. So we've now got 8. We multiply 2 by 4 to get to 8. So we must multiply 1 by 4. 1 times 4 equals 4. So we've got 3 and 1/8, 3 and 2/8, 3 and 3/8, 3 and 4/8, 3 and 5/8. We've got a missing number here and 3 and 7/8. Now, we're going to start by putting this here. And we know we're going to change it to 3 as our whole number, 8 in our denominator, and we need to work out what is our number going to be here. Now, if we know that we're counting up in 8ths, we need to add an 8th onto here. So we need to add 1 onto our numerator of 5. So that will give us 6. Now, this can be your answer, but this fraction can be simplified. To simplify this, we can divide both these numbers by 2. So our whole number stays the same. If we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. And if we divide 6 by 2, we get 3. If you put this answer here, this is correct, but this is also correct. Both of these fractions, 3/4 and 6/8, have the same value. So this is now our sequence order of fractions from smallest to largest, from 3 and 1/8 to 4. That concludes your video for today. Best of luck with the worksheet. If you do get stuck, rewatch the video over as many times as you want, and pause their parts where it can help you with your worksheet.